Okay, thank you.
Just make sure that you stick with heroes that within a few games you will be really good at them. Invoker, it takes a lot of games, and it's not just a lot of games, but it's practicing every day to first you have to get good at him, and then you have to practice constantly to stay good at him. Whereas other heroes, like for example, I don't know, Zeus, for instance, once you're good at him, you're generally gonna stay good at him. You don't need a hell of a lot of practice to stay good at him. But anyway, you need to practice a little bit to stay good at every hero anyway. So anyway, moving on. You're starting off with a null talisman and a tangle. Looking at this lineup, if I was you, I would look at this lineup and I would say, okay, it's an AM carry with Crystal Maiden support. It's probably a Pudge Lich offlane, very strong offlane, and it's going to be a what's his name? A
Troll.
Troll Warlord mid, which is pretty decent against Invoker, to be honest. It's a very interesting lane matchup, and I think definitely Troll comes out on top slightly. But now you see Pudge, and once you see Pudge, you should definitely be like, oh wow, this is my luckiest day. It's gonna be a Pudge in the lane. I'm definitely gonna win this lane. So let's see how you take advantage of being the stronger one in the lane. And so far, you're not really taking any advantage of that because this guy look at what you've done. You've separated the. You went ahead and you aggroed the creeps, and then you stayed back. You allowed the Pudge. This is what Pudge should have done. Pudge should have aggroed, moved the creeps back so he creates a barrier and farms safely. Instead, you were the one who aggroed the creeps. I understand you were trying to harass him, but after harassing, you didn't the aggro go forward and start harassing him again. That's what you should have done. Instead, you just allowed this Pudge to get. What is this? No, I'm going for last hit and denies. You just allowed the Pudge to get one. He's just bad at last hitting. That's why he only has one last hit. But he has free XP and he's free to go in last hit. And you're not harassing him at all. He's got full HP.
I see. So at this point, I should be like staying between the range creep, his range creep, and
yeah, you should be going up. Look at that. He just denied your creep. Where's your harass? You're a ranged hero. He's a melee hero. This is one of the most basic things. Go and harass him. Why would you have Alacrity? You could have Force Spirit. Force Spirit is so much better than Alacrity most of the time. Well, it's with everything else even. Force Spirit is better than Alacrity against harassing heroes because first of all, it actually gives you more damage and it gives you scaling damage because a Force Spirit will reduce the enemy's armor with every single hit. I don't know if you knew that or not, but Force Spirit will reduce. So depending on your level of Exhort, your Force Spirit will reduce from level 2 onwards. Level 2 of Exhort onwards, it'll reduce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 armor per hit, which is a lot, to be honest. So yeah, especially against Pudge. Pudge actually has a very low armor anyway. So if you have level 2 level 2 Exhort, which will be very, very soon, you remove that on the first hit, you remove that one armor, and then it's all minus armor from there onwards. I'm not sure how long it lasts. It should be 8 seconds. Doesn't say, does it? Should be a few seconds. I believe it'll be about 8 seconds. Should be the same as Blightstone. But yeah, you're not even using Alacrity to harass that guy. Your even Alacrity itself gives you 25 extra damage at this point and 10 extra attack speed. You can use Alacrity on Pudge to destroy him in lane. He is 2 minutes in. He's only had to consume 2 tangos, and I bet some of that damage actually comes from Rot anyway. Because you haven't done anything to him. Look at how you're playing. You're playing against him as if he's a ranged hero. You should definitely, right now, you should be standing somewhere over here, and you should be right-clicking the shit out of this guy. Because at the moment, once you have Alacrity on, let's go back to 10.
Sorry, I think I died here at this point.
We'll see in a second. But at the moment, you have double damage. You have 104 damage right now. All right. So even if you stand over here and right-click this Pudge and these 2 creeps attack you, you literally only take 40 damage, and you've got 1 armor as well. So you literally take 40 damage from these guys, and you do so much more damage. You do more than twice. You do 1.5 times, 150% more damage to Pudge. and on top of that, you still got full 2 sets of region, and on top of that, you'll soon have cross orbs as well. So hands down, you could have destroyed this. But the point is not to kill them. The point is to winning the lane doesn't necessarily only mean killing them. Winning the lane would also mean if you harass him so much, yeah, you opened yourself to. There's a few mistakes you made. Winning the lane would have, if you'd harassed him so much that he would have had to consume all his mana and all his HP, and he had to shrine up. Even if he goes and shrines up, that's it. You've won the first 3-4 minutes of the game, and then you could have kept on harassing him. So he has to maybe go back to base, heal up, or spend more money into region or whatever. But the thing is, like, you could have completely destroyed him in lane. But instead, he manages to get 6 CS out of the lane, which should never have happened. On top of that, mistakes you made here were, first of all, well, yeah, you kind of like when it's a Pudge in lane, that's all he's gonna do, right? He's gonna hook you. So one thing that you could have done is you could have invoked Vex Orbs right now, but you didn't, and you were out of mana and you died. So not. I think once you got hooked, it was pretty difficult to survive. Is it level? It is level 2. He's level 4. He's level 4 on top of that. So I mean, obviously he's the same level as you. Oh man, come on. Okay, here's my question now. If you were gonna have a Forge Spirit, why did you even bother getting a Vex Orb, a point in Vex? Normally, the way
Sorry.
yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. I was following the guide what it was telling me to put.
Come on,
So,
man, don't be
yeah.
like that. You were following a don't. All right, so this is exactly why I recommend not playing Invoker because you cannot be following guides. Putting a point in Vex is very situational when you're playing Exhort Invoker. It's pretty much only when there is an enemy hero who can kill your Forge Spirit immediately, and that's the only time that you put a point in Vex. Normally, you're gonna be maxing out Exhort, of course, and you're gonna put 3 points in Quas. Sometimes even 4 points in Quas. The few heroes who can take out your Forge Spirit are, for example, Tinker, for example, OD. These are some of the heroes that, including Zeus. So these are some of the heroes that will just take out your Forge Spirit, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't really farm it, it's a waste of mana. So you end up putting a point in Vex pretty early on so you can have Alacrity. But against this guy, against somebody who you will destroy in lane if you have Forge Spirit, not to mention you'll have more farm and whatnot, or farming damage, so that you can last it better. Not only can you last it better, but you can deny every single thing. But that's like your 2.5k, so I'm not going to say you need to deny anything at all, even though you have 6 denies. That's like pretty big. Honestly, that's a pretty big deal, I think. So, but the big issue is right now that once again we come into a situation where you have absolutely no mana. You literally have mana for one more Force Spirit, and then that's it. What are you going to do after that? There's nothing you can do after that. Another thing you can do with Pudge against Pudge is you've got a Force Spirit. You always put a Force Spirit in front of you when you farm. You can literally be standing right here. You have a Force Spirit in front of you. That's it. He can't hook you. He can only hook the Force Spirit, and there's no way hooking a Force Spirit is worth the mana for him, even if he gets the gold for it.
I see. Thank you.
And you're missing out. No worries, man. And you're missing out some C.
Yeah, I also went for the shrine for mana here. Was that wrong?
No, it's not. It's completely fine. But you need to put your null talisman in your backpack and bring it back up, because it's literally 72 extra mana. 72 extra mana is almost a free Forge Spirit right there. If you'd put the null talisman in your backpack, you would have had full mana right now. Now this is a mistake. Farming the jungle at this point. You're level 5. There's no point to be farming the jungle, and that's not even the main thing. The main thing is that there's a bloody Pudge in the game, in the lane, man. Just go and kill him. You should be there harassing him, zoning him out. He should not even be allowed to stay in the lane. That's how hard you should be hitting him right now. He can't right-click you at all. The only damage you take from hitting him is the damage that the creeps will do in return to you, which is 100% going to be less, much, much less than the damage that you will do to him. But right now, he's just maintaining his high ground. Yeah. I hope you don't use this shrine.
Because of the death, I got a bit scared.
Yeah, you definitely need to. I guess you don't have a lot of hours in Dota, do you? You haven't played. You haven't been playing Dota for
Uh,
long. It's only 1,000 hours.
it's okay.
Okay, so considering, is this your main account? Is this your only account?
Yeah,
Okay, so considering that you've only had 1,000 games in Dota and you're 2.5k, I think you should be really happy with that. You should be really proud of yourself. I think that's a really, really good. That is, if I was gonna put a number on it from 1 to 10, I think I would pretty much put that on 8.5 almost. That's how good that is. So that's actually really, really good. Probably even 9, to be honest.
I see.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So you're doing you. I want to end this replay right away because I think the biggest issue you're having right now is you need to learn some basics of Dota. You need to get a feel for when you're strong, when you're weak. You clearly got movements correct. You've got, I guess, it was a pudge with the invisibles. What are you gonna do? But you've got the movements, you've got the management, you've got pretty decent last hits. It's not bad last hits and all that. So you went to the jungle because you were scared. You didn't have to be scared. That's a mistake. But at least if the lane matchup was such that you should have been scared, you made the right call. You would have made the right call. Let's say if that was like, I don't know, a TA for instance in the lane instead of a pudge, that what you did was exactly the right thing. What you're doing would have been exactly the right thing where you're farming in the jungle. So you've got some things which are really good, but you need to get the basics down first. And I think the biggest issue that is holding you back right now from learning the basics is because you are spending your entire time, your entire time playing Dota, and look at that. That's amazing. That is pretty decent, dude. Like you put the Fort Spirit up in the you alacrity the Fort Spirit to send him up to farm. That's pretty decent. Like, okay, you're not managing the Fort Spirit, which is something that you should have been doing. Like you should have been doing this automatically, and you should have been managing the Fort Spirit. That's completely fine. The Pudge's Invis is gonna you're gonna die. It's fine. It's completely fine. But the thing is, like, you need to get the basics down because right now you're spending all your brain power trying to figure out how to play Invoker, managing your 10 spells, and doing all of that. You don't even understand Invoker that well. You're following some guide. If you have to follow a guide for a hero, you don't know the hero. You need to be so good at the hero, and you need to understand the hero so well that you should be the one who should be able to make a guide about that hero. Okay, so first thing that you need to do is go and play easier heroes. Go and play easier heroes till you get really good at those heroes, and you get really good at the game, at understanding the game, at movements around the map, at understanding when somebody is stronger, when somebody is weaker, what all the heroes would do, what are their power spikes, timing windows, all of those things. And I really think that some of the best heroes that you can play in mid. I don't think you should play a lot of them, but I think a few of them are Lina at the moment. As meta changes, you need to change these heroes, but at the moment, Lina, Zeus for mid, Lina, Zeus, Death Prophet is pretty decent. Sniper, Puck, OD. These are some of the heroes that I think you should be focusing on in mid and playing pretty much exclusively. Don't bother playing very complicated. Like even Puck, don't bother playing Puck at the moment. Just play straightforward heroes. Just play like right clicking heroes like OD or Zeus. These are two very very straightforward and simple. Even Lina has got. Lina I think will be fine for you, to be honest. Lina and Quap. Lina, Quap, Zeus. I think that if you make that your hero pool, some three of the most basic mid laners, I think you will be really, really good. Play like another 500 games, not just on these three heroes, but get another 500 games, and I think you'll be in a very, very good spot. You'll easily surpass 3K very, very soon, very, very easily for sure. This is just a matter of time, honestly. But you're not gonna get to 3K by playing these complicated heroes because you're not learning. You need to learn. There's so much you need to learn right now, and the only way you're gonna do that is by having easier heroes.
I see. Thank you.
Uh,
I guess I'll be trying the other heroes.
yeah, yeah, okay. Like you're farming.
Something.
Do you watch a lot of high level games or something? You watch tournaments or something?
Yeah. Some.
Um,
Yeah. Some of them.
yeah, like it's quite clear that you you have a really good understanding of what your hero is supposed to be doing, because most of the times you'll notice 2K players will gank around this time and go into some lane and start fighting, but that's definitely the wrong move. You're making exactly the right plays here by staying where you are, just farming, contributing with Sunstrike. There's some issues with your Sunstrike contribution, but I'm not going to say anything about it at the moment. You've been getting some Sunstrikes off, so that's really good. Like that particular Sunstrike, you get a kill on antimates, or I don't know if you got a kill. Yeah, you did. That's like really amazing. Your contribution from across the map while you're farming jungle really fast. You're gonna have a delayed. Is that was that? No, you didn't. You're gonna have a delayed axe. You should normally get an axe around 18 minutes, but it's not gonna be too delayed. I think despite 3 deaths, you're gonna get an axe by about 19 minutes, which is pretty damn decent. Don't think it's too bad. You
I
didn't
see.
get anything out. The sad part is that you were up against a Pudge, a lane matchup which you should have completely destroyed, and instead you actually ended up um, losing your lane to him. So that's really sad. You should have had the 15 damage talent. You don't need the extra HP at all. You're gonna get Ags very soon as well, and I think instead of going for a Staff of Wizardry, you could have gone for an Ogre Club, which actually gives you 200 HP, and then you could have had a 15 damage, extra damage, helps you farm a bit faster. Not a lot, but a
I
little
see.
bit at least. Actually,
Also,
you might
there's one
actually,
thing,
yeah.
like when I like for this matchup and for others when I go mid, I'm not really sure when I should be the one being aggressive. Same as
That is
similar
a
to this one.
Yeah, that is a question that I really can't answer. You have to figure that out for yourself. The way you figure it out is just be super aggressive all the time, and you'll die a lot. And slowly, you'll understand when you're being too aggressive and when not to be aggressive. It's like you
I
have to
see.
push your limits. You have to figure out your limits for yourself. It depends on
Yeah.
every single hero, and not only on every single hero, but also depends on every single hero matchup. Also depends on the enemy. Sometimes when you go super aggressive on some people, they'll get scared even though they don't need to. For example, like you literally got scared with that punch because he got a hook on you, even though you didn't need to, because you didn't have a great understanding of your matchup. So similarly, if you go super aggressive on some people who don't understand the matchup very well, you'll end up winning a lane which you're not supposed to win. So I really can't answer that question. Just something you have to test every single game based on that particular game, based on that enemy hero who's against you, etc., etc. So yeah, you actually managed to get a okay, decent timing ags. You could have had a lot sooner if you'd managed the courier a little bit better. But now is a really good point. Like what Invoker is supposed to do with your build right now, it's quite high level. You have to split push lanes, and you have to push lanes in general, but still be like, first of all, escape potential ganks, and you should only split push lanes which are safe to push, of course. And at the same time, you need to be available for fights with your team, and that's all of that decision making. All of that is actually quite complicated, and it's not something that any 2K player knows how to do or can potentially do. So I think going for that sort of a thing, you're just giving yourself a harder time in this game. All right, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
end this here, and I don't think we're gonna learn anything else from this replay. Um, I think what you need to do is take this information and go play solo games, because you're still, like, all of these games that you're playing are all party games, and that's none of it is within your skill bracket. You need to play games against 2.5k people. There's no way you can estimate if you're good or bad if you're playing in a party of friends with randomly skilled people. Maybe your party MMR is really low, or maybe the average party MMR of your whole team is really low, below your skill level, and you're just playing against some noobs and you think you're really good. That's completely ridiculous. Or maybe your party MMR is really high and you're playing against really good players and you think you're really shit. So I don't know. You need to figure out where you are, and the only way to do that is by playing against people who are same skilled as you, and you need to learn as much as you can from the game, and the only way to do that is by playing simpler heroes so that you can figure out that hero really quick, and then you can spend time focusing on the game, learning the game. All right.
Yeah.